Yeah, so the Morgan Stanley thesis, indeed, many would argue that Tesla is still at the top of the game and always will be. In fact, Tesla's gonzo market cap is so large that on slow days, it might only be the equivalent of Volvo or Nissan, for example, but recent surge added $70 billion. This is in line with the latest thesis from Morgan Stanley and Adam Jonas, which suggests that the long-term benefits of their work in proprietary silicon and compute, Dojo could add $500 billion to the market cap, making up a gain in value almost equivalent to the size of the BMW group. That type of investor euphoria is typically restricted to the realm of artificial intelligence. If I say the latest thesis, because Adam Jonas has talked up the software potential Tesla before the first time he kind of came out with this big case. Cool, and updated his call on the stock like 70% was in 2015. And he envisioned a future where Tesla operates like Uber and Lyft, a rideshare service, but operates its own fleet of Tesla vehicles, own fleet of robo-taxis. And clearly in present day 2023, that's not yet come true. This instance proves no different not too long ago. In fact, very recently, Morgan Stanley had published an uber bullish call on Tesla based almost solely on an analysis of the growth outlook for the EV maker selling its Dojo supercomputer as a service. The more we looked at Dojo, the more we realized the potential for underappreciated value in the stock. Morgan Stanley wrote the report upgraded Tesla to what is effectively a buy rating, naming it a top pick and predicting shares would return to their historic high of around 400 from November 2021 in 12 months. But Tesla has develop its own silicon and its own compute power to train neural networks. And the latest that must have said is that they'll put $1 billion in ARD perspective into Dojo to make it better. And Morgan Stanley sees that upside coming. I was trying to make it a Mojo Dojo Casa house in relation to this topic, but I know, right, it would have been funny, but it's a Barbie reference. Hey, it's some criticism is that like this valuation or is this based on an idea, like it's not material yet. It's just like, hey, if that happens, and this could be the amount. So there is a lot of uncertainty and skepticism still around it. So in the first instance, Tesla makes money from software sales with full self-driving beta, right? They've used price hikes as a lever and price cuts as a lever on the vehicles. They've increased the FSD price from say $10,000 to $15,000, which is a fairly large margin. Income, according to Jonas, the way they're collaborating with Dojo is similar to how Oz entered the cloud market early, which gives them the chance to offer a far greater choice of software services. Dojo is Tesla's attempt to address one of the major hardware issues facing AI: bottlenecks in memory storage and bandwidth that prevent the technology from scaling effectively. This is especially true when it comes to training on visual data. Dojo is expected to rapidly expand to the equivalent of 300,000 NVIDIA, a 100 GPS for a total compute of 100 exaflops by October of next year, a measurement of supercomputer operational speed. This could make Dojo the most advanced machine in the world in terms of processing power and could help Musk fulfill his long-standing dream of fully autonomous investors can benefit from Dojo services as the next chapter in Tesla's growth story. At its core, according to investment bank, is a Tesla-only done chip with 50 billion transistors, which theoretically enables a large increase in the volume and speed of data transfer without a corresponding rise in energy costs. Musk could train enough neural net with the help of the streamlined design, which would enable him to feed massive volumes of visual data collected by the millions of Tesla cars on the road. This design might also help AI-related industries like robotics. Security and healthcare, per Morgan Stanley, since its initial announcement at the company's first AI day 2 years ago, alongside its humanoid robot Optimus, Musk has tried to lower expectations. And in October, he stated that while it's still early to tell whether Dojo is worth the effort, he's willing to risk $1 billion. If Dojo succeeds, Tesla will probably be the first to market with self-driving software that can be remotely updated over the air and installed in all of its fleet vehicles. Musk would eventually deliver on his promise that 1 million automobiles could become robot taxis overnight, as he had originally stated would happen by the end of 2020. Musk has made an effort to allay the worries of irate clients, such as Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, regarding promises about self-driving technology This time, the goal of the Tesla developers was to replace the more than 300,000 lines of code in version 11 with artificial intelligence. How if it could learn and get better with every mile a Tesla vehicle traveled. In light of Morgan Stanley's recent action, Musk has hinted that the introduction of V12 would mean FSD no longer needs human supervision after nearly 3 years in beta testing. Tesla, speaking of FSD, in late August, Elon Musk got into his Model S at Tesla headquarters in Palo Alto, selected a random spot on his navigation screen, and let the car drive itself using its full self-driving technology for 45 minutes while listening to Mozart. Musk had used FSD hundreds of times before, but this drive was fundamentally different, and not just because it was much smoother and more reliable. Bulls criticized the firm for taking so long to realize the potential of Dojo. Bears pointed to a passage in the report that states analysts were never able to prove it does what Musk claims. Instead of being based on hundreds of thousands of lines of code, as all previous versions of self-driving software were, the new version he was using, called FSD12, was based on a radical new concept that he believed would not only transform autonomous vehicles, but also be a quantum leap towards artificial general intelligence that can operate in physical real-world situations. Similar to the new huge language model conversation, this new system had taught itself how to drive by analyzing billions of frames of footage, showing how humans do it. Through the processing of billions of words of human language, bots learn to provide answers for themselves. It's like ChatGPT for cars. As a young member of Tesla's autopilot team named Gaval Shroff explained to Musk in a meeting in December, he was comparing the idea they were working on to the chatbot that OpenAI, the lab that Musk co-founded in 2015, had just released. It's amazing that Musk had set Tesla on this fundamentally new approach just 8 months earlier. We analyze vast amounts of data about the actions of actual human drivers in challenging driving scenarios. I said, Druff. And after that, we train a neural network in a computer to replicate that. Up until that point, Tesla's autopilot system relied on a rules-based methodology. The vehicle's cameras recognize objects like pedestrians and lane markers. Traffic signs and vehicle signs are followed by software that applies a set of rules to complex situations. For example, the software applies to stop when the light is red, go when it is green, stay in the middle of the lane markers, and only proceed through an intersection when no cars are approaching quickly enough to hit you. Tesla's engineers manually wrote and updated hundreds of thousands of lines of C+ code to implement these rules. Rather than using rules to determine the car's correct path, Shroff and colleagues' neural network planner adopted an alternative strategy. According to Shroff, by early 2023, we will be using a neural network that learns from millions of examples of human behavior to identify the car's correct course. In other words, human mimicry. Since we only use human data when it manages a situation. Well, the Neural Network Planner project, which examined 10 million video clips taken from Tesla owners' vehicles, would only be as good as the average human driver. According to Shroff, there are certain situations in which a neural network planner would be more effective than a rules-based strategy. This is what happens when we shift from the neural network planner guided automobile that was able to skitter around the obstacles in the demo, which included a road cluttered with garbage cans, fallen traffic cones, and miscellaneous debris. The car crossed lane lines and broke various laws as needed. Regulations, according to Network Path, we should do a James Bond-style demonstration where there are bombs exploding on all sides and a UFO is falling from the sky while the car speeds through without hitting anything, Shroff told him. On a different note, Musk was excited by Shroff's statement that the car will never crash if you turn it on. Even in unstructured environments, a $25,000 electric car would be a game changer in the auto industries. Fight against climate change, especially in the United States, where consumers are facing high inflation and a lack of affordable options. Why is this vital? Tesla's master plan, published in 2006, called for using money made on early models like the $100,000 Roadster. And the model is to bring down the cost of future vehicles. It appears that this is finally happening. Subscribe for more. Tesla CEO Elon Musk finally gave in when aides revealed a plan to build both a robo-taxi and an inexpensive small car side by side in a cutting-edge factory.